Welcome to the Make Me Whole podcast. I'm your host, Josette Rosado, and it's time to talk getting past what's difficult, trusting our own abilities to do more, and keeping it that way. Anyone who's been on social media or the internet just in general knows that the big trend right now is self-care. Self-care, self-care, self-care. Everybody defines it differently, and it's not the same for every single person. If we think about it, there really is a fine line between self-care and self-indulgence. People sometimes think that when you're talking self-care, you can do whatever you want to feel better. But as most things in life, there are some limits as to what we can do. Self-care is supposed to be a form of nourishment and healing, but people can become really addicted to unhealthy ways of taking it to an extreme. Just go on TikTok, go on Instagram. Self-care has become so superficial. I mean, not many of us have a ready-made Palm Springs house like Kris Jenner where we could just go and decompress, look at the ocean, and feel better about ourselves. Go ahead and Google self-care products. The number of items you will see is astounding. And oftentimes, there are things that we don't ever really need, but they're marketed as the go-to items that will change your life, heal your soul, and make everything better. Now, be honest. How many of you follow influencers who talk about be kind and love yourself? Never give up on your dreams. Take time for you. Don't be afraid to be brave. These are all well and good, but also coming from individuals who are talking to the general public. They haven't met you. They don't know what you're going through. So how could they possibly give you the advice you need for your own self-care? Why is it that we look to these people to make decisions we need to make for ourselves? We follow, we watch their videos, we take the time to do so and get energized for the moment, but don't carry it through the way we need to. This can be a big mistake because in not doing exactly what they are, we often find ourselves feeling less than and that our situation is getting more and more hopeless. Self-care is about being able to look after your own needs. It doesn't have to be about getting those likes and comments on social media. So we're going to talk today about some practices of self-care, what to keep in mind based on our own needs, what to stay away from, and figure out how we can continue to be authentic to ourselves and the needs that we have for feeling at peace. I'm sure you agree that thinking about yourself has to be a priority, especially now. So let's jump right in. Let's start with the idea of I can take care of myself by going on vacation. I think we can all agree that a vacation is one of the best ways to decompress and renew ourselves. But did you decide to throw both middle fingers up in the air and say, screw this, I'm going on vacation? Or did you make a plan for time off? There's a big difference. There is nothing sexier on my schedule than planned time off. And even more so when I have made the deliberate decision to do something with that planned time off and have the money and time for that planned time off. It makes it wonderful because guess what? Eventually, you will have to come back to reality. And if you left impulsively without a plan, leaving your coworkers to pick up your slack, lied about where you were, spent money you didn't have, you have not engaged in taking care of yourself. You've just added to the problem. And who wants that? What I'm encouraging you here to do is take the time you need, but do it in a way that works for you without giving in to the impulse of what you believe is going to fix you in the moment. So go to your calendar, open it up, see what works for you, plan ahead, make sure you have enough money for it, and get your vacation on. If you listen really closely, you probably can hear the beach waves in the background. Unwind with alcohol. Now, I'm going to preface this with the understanding that I make no judgments to anyone who decides to have a glass of wine at the end of a day so that they can relax and kick back and ease into their evening. I myself have been known to like a nice bottle of wine with a great charcuterie board. However, if you consider alcohol as the way to get rid of your stress, you're going to be disappointed because it really does not work that way. Unfortunately, overindulging in alcohol can lead to a lot of health issues. So, going for that third glass of wine or fourth shot may not be the ideal when you're trying to feel better. And no one here said you should stop drinking if it's something that you enjoy to do from time to time and responsibly. It's the overindulgence that we have to be mindful of. Because again, that's not going to fix what you feel is wrong. Unplugging from social media. Yeah, there are a lot of us that say, look, girl, you are so stressed. Just turn off your Facebook, turn off your Instagram, no TikTok. This is the way that you are going to be less distracted and making sure you're taking the time for yourself. The rise of social media has become a real toxic habit for a lot of people. And others will tell you it's a good idea if you stop using it or get a break. By removing or deactivating your account, you could probably get yourself. It's not easy to give up social media when it actually is really part of your life and your work. You really have to set realistic expectations so that you can still enjoy the benefits of it. If you're a business owner like I am, I use social media all the time. If you haven't seen my TikTok videos, you're missing out. They're lots of fun. As much fun as it is to be involved with and post in the social media world, there are limits that we do have to include in our use of it. I use TikTok as an example because so many of us are using it and it's really become very popular in the last 2 years. But did you know that there are pauses that are purposely shown on your For You page? I swear, if you haven't seen them, you should keep an eye out for them. This person comes on and says, you've been scrolling a lot. Maybe take a break. Take it as a cue. And if you have a business where you use social media often, consider getting an assistant or someone who can help you with your posts or whatever management you need to have in place for the platform you're on. Really consider on having someone who can give you the time you need to focus on other aspects of the business as opposed to just the social media content. Retail therapy. Oh, I love this so much. I am going to admit here that if I am feeling blue, Ulta.com is my jam. Yeah, it can get pretty bad. Treating yourself in retail therapy is a great way to take care of yourself. If you're feeling down, sometimes buying something for just you can be really nice. Now, I'm all for positive reinforcement, but if you spend too much on something nice, then you might have to stop and check those finances. You can't buy yourself all of your favorite things. Even if you're on a budget, small purchases can go a long way in setting you back. I say that I'm on Ulta.com when I need to be, but best believe I am using coupons and coupon codes. Do I do this so that maybe I can buy more? Maybe. What I'm getting at is that you don't want regrets after you bought something that you feel you deserve. Please do not go there. Self-care doesn't have to take a lot of time. Let me say that again. Self-care does not need to take a lot of time. All right, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said you can't drink the wine that you want or buy all the pretty things you need to make yourself feel better. You do you. But let's talk about some practical things we can do in the spirit of self care. How about take yourself on a date? Remember, this is self care we're talking about. And it doesn't mean that we have to wait around to see who is going to invite us to go out to dinner on a romantic date. We have to remember that we're just as good to date ourselves as we would anybody else. How about saying something kind to yourself when you look in the mirror in the morning? Mary J. Blige, who is one of my favorite singers, has a new song out entitled Hello Gorgeous. Her inspiration, as she tells it, is that she was feeling badly about herself and started looking in the mirror and every morning would say, Hello Gorgeous, just to start her day off right. I mean, it doesn't get easier than that. Allow yourself to take a nap. When you're tired, you're tired. Everyone else can get a break, so can you. Taking a nap from time to time definitely can help. Connecting with someone. We all know we have that one person we haven't called, but we meant to, and we know that every time we talk to them on the phone or see them in person, they bring sunshine, brightness, light to our lives. Sometimes it could just be someone who will make you laugh or give you an excuse to get out of your routine. We talked before about scheduling and making plans for vacation. But what about scheduling some time on a daily basis for your break? A time that is the same every day, where everyone around you knows it is dedicated directly to what you need. How about a walking meditation? There's so many people that like to get outdoors, and there are plenty of apps you can download, like Headspace, which focus directly on meditation in so many different ways, one of which is walking and meditating. Another great thing you can do for yourself is buy a bouquet of flowers. This time of year, there are so many to choose from. And there's nothing like having a fresh bouquet of flowers sitting on your table or on your desk that just gets you feeling all kinds of happy. I don't care what anybody says. No one needs to wait for someone to bring them flowers. Move your body in ways that feel good to you. Believe it or not, I love listening to and dancing to salsa music. And it just gives me this sense of joy inside, gets my blood flowing, and my mood changes instantly. Try something new. Try something new. Yeah. Knowing that you can expand the skills that you already have or the things that you've already done, or maybe it's something that you were afraid to do in the past, there's nothing like it. So give yourself that. Do something you've never done before. Journaling. A lot of times I offer the idea to my clients to write a gratitude journal. And all it is picking up a pen and a piece of paper and say, hey, this went right today. My coffee was good. I didn't run into traffic. I got an extra onion ring in my French fries. It doesn't matter what it is, but we recognize and acknowledge things that just made us feel good that day. Meditation. If you've never done it before, it might seem weird at first. Again, apps like Headspace offer 3, 5, 15-minute sessions to get you started. And really, it's just like sitting quietly and listening to the inside, ignoring the outside, and letting yourself have some peace. Another idea, people are all about podcasts right now. You are here listening to mine. Hopefully, it is doing what it needs to do for you. There's so many out there. So don't limit yourself to what you think you don't want to hear. And since this one's working for you, make sure you keep coming back. Declutter your space. There's nothing better than seeing a clear desk. And sometimes we get so caught up with everything, our area becomes the catch-all. So decluttering it, getting rid of things, seeing papers gone from the top of places or trash and things that should have gone weeks ago, yeah, that makes all the difference in the world. And then finally, swap the to-do list for done lists. That means write a list of all the things you've done, no matter how small they might seem. When you're done, stop and celebrate. Recognize how much you're actually doing. Look, everything and everyone in the outside world usually becomes a priority, and what we need takes the back seat. This is why self-care is so important and it should be a priority. I don't like using the word should, but I'm going to use it in this instance. Remember, self-care is meant to nourish you and to fill you up. It feeds you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. If there's one thing to take time for in your life, that should be it. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Make yourself a priority today because guess what? Nobody else will do it for you. Hey there. Thanks so much for being with me today and tuning into this episode of Make Me Whole. I have been loving the feedback from everyone and am welcoming anyone who's new here. Listen to the podcast. We come out every Thursday with a new episode. If you'd like to reach out and give us some suggestions of what you'd like to hear, send us an email at makemewhole@bossesofbliss.com. Find us on Facebook and Instagram at Bosses of Bliss or on TikTok at Blissful Boss. I'd like to take a time to dedicate this show to all the wonderful mothers out there. I hope you get the self-care you deserve and celebrate with your families and friends. Remember to complain less and do more. Take care, and I'll see you next time. This is Josette Rosado, and this is Make Me Whole.